I feel like we cover a lot of stupid trends here on this channel, but this one absolutely takes the cake. I have never seen a dumber trend ever come out of TikTok and Facebook than this. Apparently this trend has been around for a while now, but for some reason recently it's been given some new life. And when this trend gets some new life, it sadly takes away some potential life. Because if this trend goes wrong, essentially the outcome is a vasectomy from a 9mm round. Yes, the trend that we're talking about today is taking a loaded firearm, pointing it right at your family jewels, and pulling the trigger, but not enough to fire the gun, just slightly edging on the trigger. For some reason, people do that. I can't tell if this is a service to society or not, because if you are dumb enough to do this in the first place, maybe you shouldn't be bringing kids into the world.
There's also a vital vein in your thigh region, so you could potentially just die as well from bleeding out.
Great. But the trend is called Point at Venus to avoid all, I guess, platforms taking it down. And before we look at this trend, I really have to make a disclaimer for the morons in the back. I realize you as a normal viewer would not ever think about doing something as dumb as this, but clearly people are seeing this and doing it. So I guess we gotta make disclaimers for the people with a single-digit IQ in the back. Don't do this. It does not make you cool. And if it goes wrong, best case scenario, you'll be peeing out of a straw for the rest of your life. Why would you ever do that? Why? No guy can sit and watch this without cringing. This is awful. Why would you ever think about doing that?
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
For the sake of that man's gene pool, I hope that was a dummy round. How does the internet somehow continuously pump out worse and worse trends? We have some pretty bad trends on TikTok and Facebook already, and they somehow go, yeah, we can do worse than that. Who in their right mind would do that? Clearly people are doing it, but why? I just have so many questions. Well, see you in space, cowboy. And to make things even worse, here's a image. I'm not gonna show the video. Here's an image of a guy doing this trend while driving 65 miles an hour on a highway, I'm assuming. The dude is literally one pothole away from halting his family tree. I feel like as an American, I have to say this. We have 340 million people, so odds are there's going to be a few of them that aren't the brightest. But I can reassure you by saying this is a very fringe minority. We do not claim them. We do not endorse this behavior, nor does this represent us in any way. The only thing we have in common with them is the fact that we're born on the same side of the Atlantic. But I mean, if this trend continues, I guess there'll be fewer of them in the future. I just can't get past the chill it sends down my spine when I see these guys doing this. What is wrong with people? Let alone just the thought of just going and grabbing my gun and just sitting there and just doing that. I don't understand the thought process. How do you see this on the internet and go, I'm gonna try that? But of course, some articles were made on this. So Vice made this article titled, "Here's Why Men Are Pointed Loaded at Their." But the article says internal fighting amongst owners has led to one of the dumbest memes of all time. People are taking pictures of themselves aiming weapons at their you know where. The safety is off, their finger hovers on the trigger, and the barrel of the weapon is pointed straight to their genitals. The trend is about a year old, and it was born in the fires of Facebook groups. So I guess this isn't to blame TikTok for once. I guess TikTok just spread it on. On one side are reasonable owners. On the other is a group of men aiming a deadly weapon at their you know where to prove a point that they can only vaguely explain. Enthusiasts love taking pictures of their It's a common practice. America has a culture as robust, diverse, and complicated as comic book fans, fantasy nerds, PC gamers, or any other subculture. Like those communities, nerds have their own meme-tic language and fight amongst themselves. Unlike pop culture enthusiasts, the hobby of nerd is based on a tool designed to It's distressing then to a responsible owner when fringe elements of their community post pictures online of them pointing at you know where. It's not only stressful for just owners, it's stressful for everyone seeing it. While it may be a fringe group, I'm also just surprised at the amount of people that are doing it. Like if you search this up, you're gonna find a lot of them. Also, that trigger is pulled a little bit too close to the point of where it will fire. I mean, that is not comfortable at all. How about, instead of pointing it at the family jewels, how about we point it at a PS5 or something? Because at least the PS5 is replaceable. The stakes are still high, but you can replace a PS5 if you accidentally pull the trigger a little bit too hard. Can't say the same thing about the family jewels. But of course, there was a follow-up to this article because I know this might sound shocking, but the trend went wrong. Who would have thought? A moment of silence to this man because apparently some dude just blasted his nuts off. Enthusiasts celebrate man who shot himself in the balls as their king. I can 100% confirm that gun enthusiasts are not cheering this on. It's probably more of like the audience of, I don't know, the Pain Olympics that are cheering this on. Don't Google that. But the article goes on to say, a guy who shot himself in the balls posted his journey from discharge to hospital visit and made him a king online. Hey, guys out there, I don't know about you, but if this makes you a king online, I don't think it's worth being a king online. A member of a Facebook group dedicated to taking pictures of loaded weapons pointed at you-know-where finally shot himself in the balls. Why? Why are you guys doing this in the first place? According to bloody pictures and the video he posted on social media and the Imperial County Sheriff's Office, which confirmed the incident to Motherboard, rather than step back and start questioning whether the practice is wise, the group made him an administrator and are now celebrating him as their king. Again, is it worth being an internet king now? It's like times like this that just makes you really grateful. Very grateful that you have them still. But anyway, a member of the group, Loaded Guns Pointed at Venus, posted a video of himself pointing a loaded 1911 handgun at his joke. Great, that's even worse than a 9mm. Yeah, let's fire a 45 ACP right there. Great. There's a brief pause before the gun discharges. The original video of the man shooting himself in the balls and subsequent thread has been deleted, but members of the group captured the video in the aftermath and re-uploaded it. The caption says, "Hey boys, I might have effed up." The man who shot himself in the balls wrote above a picture of his naked legs and splattered on the carpet of his floor. A towel is stuffed between his legs, and a printed out copy of the Constitution is crumpled up on the edge of the photo.
What?
Why? What are you doing? The guy posted through an incident as he bled. God's caliber went through my scrotum, mattress, box spring, and floor. Imagine if this guy has like downstairs neighbors and they just have a 45 ACP come through the roof.
A rogue ball bullet.
Bullet just comes through the ceiling with this dude's testes on it.
Hey, price of rent going down though.
Price of rent would be going down after that. Oh my God. I reviewed a lot of really messed up stuff doing this job of this. The shooter didn't request for comment, but an admin from the Facebook group said he was doing well, and apparently he went to work the next day. So apparently he hit between where the nuts are. The nuts are floating in there, so I guess he just punctured the sack, and it went through the sack and left his nuts
You still gonna go
and
to work
wiener
tomorrow?
alone.
What are you doing? Capitalist America. I'm just kidding.
Gotta pay rent somehow,
Yeah.
even though you have a hole in your sack. I mean, thankfully he didn't take out the sausage nor nuts.
Yeah, definitely has a water cooler story though.
That...
So, yeah, I shot myself in the middle of my ball sack last night. The other guy just starts choking on his water.
Apparently an admin of the Facebook group that this all happened in responded to this by saying, "I'm surprised it took this long for this to happen." I don't know, guys. Any reasonable person knows that you don't point a firearm in the direction of anything you don't want to absolutely obliterate. So that would include your family jewels, I would hope. Man, I just can't believe this. Number one happened, and number two, he filmed this happening. From what I know, it seems like this group has now been deleted, or it's private, so I just can't see it. So if there's a takeaway from this video, how about let's not do this? Drop a like on this video if you agree. Also, if you enjoyed this one, you'll probably enjoy this one. Peace.